Hello everyone. Today we are going to do the paper 2 of IGCSE Feb March variant, which was in Indian subcontinent on 6th of March. And this paper is 40 questions and 45 minutes, which we have to do. The first question of this paper is, the diagram shows containers of a gas at the same temperature, all are at same temperature, and all containers are the same size. They are of same size and same temperature, that is the volume are same. Which container contains gas at the highest pressure? When we talk about the gas at higher pressure, we should know the moles or the particles. The moles increases, or more moles, higher the pressure. Higher the pressure. Higher the moles, higher the pressure. We can say more moles, more pressure. Higher the pressure. And since we can see there are 6 moles in this A container, 5 in B, 3 in C, and 4 in D. So 6 moles or 6 molecules are there, so I can say answer is A. More moles, higher the pressure. The cooling curves of a substance is shown in question number 2. They are showing a cooling curve in which there are various marking U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now what is U, V here? Then in this cooling curve we can see temperature is decreasing as time is increasing. Temperature goes on decreasing. So this UV is my state in which the gas is there. This is a gas state. In this state gas is converting to liquid. Okay. Then in W it is a liquid state. And in this state liquid is converting into a solid. These are the different portions of this. What the question is asking, which statement is correct? Between U and V the substance is condensing. U and V the substance condensing. No condensation is taking place in this point. Here condensation is taking place. So not condensing between U and V, it's wrong. Between V and W, the heat is being absorbed from the surrounding. Now this is a cooling curve, heat is always given out, is not absorbed, again wrong. Between W and X, the particles are closer together and randomly arranged. W and X is a liquid state, and here the particles can be closer and are also randomly arranged. So this can be the answer. But we'll see the fourth option, between Y and Z, the substance changing from liquid to solid. Y and Z substance is changing from liquid to solid. No, it is already solid. It means this is also wrong. So is the best option correct? C is my correct answer. Sample of 4 gases are released in a room at the same time. The gases are carbon dioxide, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen sulfide, and nitrogen oxide. Which gas diffuses fastest? Diffusion is inversely proportional to rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to mass. Heavier gases diffuses less. So if I find out the mass of this carbon dioxide is 44, HCl is 36.5, S2S is 32 plus 2 34, and nitrogen is 14 plus 2 20 32. It is 14 plus 32 is 46. Which is the lightest? H2 is the lightest. It means H2S will diffuse fastest. Answer is C. Now the next fourth question is, sulfur atom can form negative ion sulfide ions S minus 2. S minus 2 sulfide ions are there. Three other atoms or ions are listed. One is argon, calcium, and oxide. It is O2 minus. How many of these atoms or ions have the same electronic configuration as S2 minus? Now sulfur, atomic number 16, 2 minus means 16 and 2 added, that is equals to 18, so it should have 18 electrons. Which of the species will have 18 electrons? Argon has 18 electrons, yes. Calcium has 20 electrons, atomic number 20, no. Oxygen has 8 plus 2 equals to 10 electrons. So what's the answer for this? Answer is argon, which is 1. It means only one atom or ion has same number of electrons like that of sulfide, and the answer is B, which is 1. Element T has 2 isotopes, T12 and 6, 14 and 6. Which statement about these isotopes is correct? Now isotopes, they have different chemical properties. They have different chemical properties because they have different number of neutrons. Different chemical properties, no, chemical properties do not depend on neutrons. And they have different properties, that's also wrong. B, they have same chemical properties because they have same number of outer shell electron. Yes, outer shell electron controls the chemical properties, and since both of them have same number of protons, therefore they will have same number of electrons, hence they will have similar chemical properties or same chemical properties. Answer should be B, but we'll go to 3. They have the same number of nucleons because the sum of the number of protons and electrons is same. Same nucleon number, wrong. They have same different position, the product table, no, it's also wrong. Answer is B. Lithium is in group number 1 of the period table. Nitrogen group number 5. Lithium reacts with nitrogen to form ionic compound lithium nitride, Li3N. What happens to the electrons in the lithium when nitrogen and nitrogen atom what happens to the electrons when lithium atoms and nitrogen atom form ions? Since lithium is a metal, it will lose electrons. Lithium will lose electron and nitrogen will gain electron. Okay, and since nitrogen is its Li3N, it means 3 lithium atoms are losing electron. 3 lithium will lose 3 electrons, and these 3 electrons are gained by 1 nitrogen atom to form a nitride ion. 3 Li plus, 3 lithium will form 3 Li plus. Now the answer A, each lithium atom loses 1 electron to form Li plus ion, correct. Each nitrogen atom gains 3 electrons to form Ni3 minus, yes, it's correct. Lithium atom loses 1 electron to form Li plus ion, correct. Each nitrogen atom gains 5 electrons, no. Each lithium atom gains 1 electron, it is wrong. Each nitrogen atom gains 5 electrons, it's wrong. So this B is wrong. Each lithium atom gains 1 electron to form Li minus ion, no, wrong. Each lithium atom gains 1 electron, wrong. Only A is correct. Answer is A. For which covalent compound does dot and cross diagram correctly show the outer electrons? Now in this dot and cross we can see hydrogen is showing 3 electron, not possible. We can see there are 3 electrons, hydrogen, not possible. So there are 3 electrons, not possible. Next, 8 electrons, hydrogen, again not possible. Now in this case there are 3 electrons with each of the 3 hydrogen atoms, and nitrogen is 5 electrons, 3 dots here and 2 here, 5. It means C is the correct answer. This is the correct structure of ammonia. And here it is only nitrogen has 3 electrons, the rest 2 are not present, and it's wrong. Therefore the answer is C. Which row identifies the positive and negative particles present in a giant metallic lattice? A metallic lattice contains positively charged cations and which are surrounded by negatively charged delocalized valence electrons. So that should be the answer. The positive particle, they are cations, and the negative particles are delocalized electrons, which is option D. Which formula for the name compound is correct? Calcium oxide, yes, it's CaO. Cobalt chloride, no, it is CoCl2, it's wrong. Sulfur dioxide is SO2, wrong. And anhydrous copper sulfate CuSO4, again wrong. Answer is calcium oxide, which is A, correct answer. The equation for the reaction of magnesium with dilute acid is shown below. And dilute sulfuric acid shown, Mg plus H2SO4 form MgSO4 and hydrogen is given out. The molar mass of MgSO4 is 120. Which mass of magnesium sulfate is formed when 12 grams of magnesium completely reacts with dilute acid? According to this equation, 1 mole Mg, that is 24 grams of Mg, gives you 1 mole of MgSO4, that is 120 grams of MgSO4. Then what I have 12 grams. So 12 grams will give how much? Half, it will give half, that 60 grams is the answer. Answer is C. Next is 11th question, which says an organic compound Q contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Q contains 40% carbon and 6.7% hydrogen. Remaining will be oxygen, and oxygen will be 53.3%. Because 40 plus 6.7, 100 minus 46.7. 100 minus 46.7, that will be equals to 53.3%. Okay. Now we will make a table for this. I will make a table: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The percentage of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen given is, the percentage given is 40%. Hydrogen is 6.7%, and oxygen we calculated 53.3%. So this is my percentage. Now the masses of these, carbon mass is 12 atomic mass, hydrogen 1, oxygen 16. Now I will find out the moles. Moles is 40 divided by 12, 40 divided by 12, 6.7 divided by 1, and 53.3 divided by 16. I am getting here 40 divided by 12 is 3.33, 6.7, and this again 3.33. Which is the smallest? 3.33 the smallest. So I'll divide all by 3.33. So when I divide all, this is divided by 3.33. 6.7 divided by 3.3. and this divided by 3.3. What I will get? I will get 1 is to 2 is to 1. That's the formula. 1 is to 2 is to 1. That is carbon 1, hydrogen 2, and oxygen 1. Answer is B. Got it? Now, the value of Avogadro's constant is 6.02 in 10 power 23. Total number of atoms in 2 mole of ammonia. Ammonia is NH3. 1 mole of ammonia contains 4 moles of atoms. 4 mole atoms. Then 2 mole will contain 8 mole atom. 8 mole into number of atoms is 6.02 into 10 power 23. The answer will be 8 into 6.02 into 10 power 23, and that comes out to be 4.82 into 10 power 24. C is the answer. 3 aqueous solutions L, M, N. Electrolyze using inert electrodes. L is concentrated HCl, H plus Cl minus will be there. M is concentrated aqueous sodium chloride, that is brine, Na plus Cl minus will be there, along with small amount of H plus and OH ions. N is dilute aqueous sodium chloride. Now this dilute will also contain Na plus and Cl minus ions along with H plus and OH minus ions. Which solution produces yellow-green gas? Yellow-green gas is chlorine. So we have to find out which will produce chlorine. So when we talk about HCl, now when there is a Cl minus, which is negatively charged ion, they will go to the positive plate anode and they will undergo oxidation to form chlorine. So there is chances of chlorine to be produced in case of concentrated HCl. Yes, alkane produced. M is aqueous concentrated sodium chloride. When it is concentrated aqueous sodium chloride, that is, it will have less number of water, then also chlorine will go and convert into chloride ion will go and convert into chlorine gas. This can also produce chlorine. But in case of dilute sodium chloride, since the concentration of Cl minus is very less, OH will go and produce H2 and OH will go and produce H2O and oxygen. So the answer for this question is L and M. They will produce chlorine gas. The answer is L and M. That is the answer. Question 14 says dilute sulfuric acid is electrolyzed using inert electrodes. What are the ionic half equations for the reaction that takes place at each electrode? Now, since it is dilute sulfuric acid, it will contain H plus and SO4 2 ions from the sulfuric acid and H plus and OH ions from the water. The positively charged H plus ions from water and this, they will go to the negative electrode, which is cathode, and they will undergo reduction, that is, they will accept electron and convert into hydrogen gas. So that should be the equation at the negative electrode, which could be these two. Whereas the negative ions, which are my sulfate ions and H plus ions, out of these only OH ions, sulfate ions and OH ions, hydroxide ions, they will go to the electrode preferentially because they have more tendency to lose charge, and these OH ions, they will go to the anode and they will undergo oxidation to form oxygen and water. So the answer for this is 4OH will give you 2H2O plus 4 electrons, and 2H plus 2 electrons give you H2. The answer for this is C. 4OH ions, they are forming 2H2O and O2 plus 4 electrons, whereas 2H plus 2 electrons give you hydrogen. Answer is C. Which statement about hydrogen oxygen fuel cells are correct? The fuel cells converts chemical energy into electric energy. Yes, they convert chemical energy of fuels into electric energy. Hydrogen is reduced in the fuel cell. Now, hydrogen is reduced in the fuel cell. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. So hydrogen not reduced, it undergoes oxidation. So this is wrong. They do not produce atmospheric pollutant. Yes, that's correct. They do not produce any atmospheric pollutant. So which two options are correct? 1 and 3. 1 and 3 correct means answer C. The reaction pathway diagram for the reaction between P and Q to form R and S is shown. P and Q, they are the reactants. R, S, and they are products. Which latter represents enthalpy change for the reaction? Now, A is my enthalpy of reactants, and B is my activation energy, D is nothing, and C is the difference between the energy of products and reactant, which is your enthalpy delta H. So my answer is C. Next, question 17. The equation for the complete combustion of methane is shown in the below. Methane plus oxygen forms CO2 plus water. The bond energies are shown here, and we have to find out enthalpy change. So whenever you are finding out enthalpy change, it is bond broken. summation bond broken energy minus bond forming energy. If I want to find out the bond broken energy, now what is the bond broken energy? Bonds are broken off methane. 4 CH bonds that they are breaking, plus oxygen is O double bond O, 2 O double bond O they are breaking. So this is the bond breaking, and the energy is 4 into CH is 410 plus 2 into O double bond O is 496. The bond breaking energy comes out to be 1640, that is 4 into 410 plus 992, and that total comes out to be 2632 kilojoules per mole. As bond formed, a bond is formed between CO2 and CO2 is C double bond O double bond O. That is, one carbon dioxide contain two C double bond O bonds. Therefore, bond formation will be 2 into C double bond O plus 1 water contains 2 HOH bonds. 2 water will contain 4. 4 into OH bonds. 2 CO bond, the bond energy for CO bond is 805. It will be 2 into 805, 2 into 805 plus is 4 into OH bond energy is 460, 4 into 460, and that comes out to be 1610 plus 1840, and the total is 3450. So when I find out the difference, delta H will be equals to 2632 minus 3450, and that comes out to be minus 818 kilojoule per mole. That should be the answer. Minus 818 is B. Answer is B. 18 question is, which of the following change is the physical change? What is a physical change? A change in which no new substance is formed. Only state changes. State change. That is called as a physical change. Option A is cracking of an alkane. Cracking of alkane is a chemical change. We are forming a new substance. Evaporation of ethanol. Yes, we are converting ethanol liquid into vapor state. It means it's a physical change. Answer should be B. Fermentation of glucose. It is not possible. Neutralization of acid. It's also a chemical reaction. So these are chemical. Only B is a physical reaction. Question 19 says, which statement explains why increasing temperature a reaction involving gases increases the rate of reaction? For reaction involving gases, if we increase temperature, then the kinetic energy of the particles will increase. We can say average kinetic energy of the particle will increase. Frequency of collision will increase. Hence, more particles will have energy greater than activation energy. Therefore, rate increases. So we have to look for these points. It increases the collision frequency between the reactant particles. That's it. It is correct. Lowers activation energy. No. It cannot change the activation energy, but it can have more particles with activation energy. This is wrong. Increases the average kinetic energy of the gas particles. Yes. It increases the number of gas particles per unit volume. No. Answer will be 1 and 3. And 1 and 3 is A option. Option A is the correct answer. Equation for the reaction between ammonia and oxygen is shown below. NH3 plus O2 gives 4NO plus 6H2O. All are gases. Here there are 9 moles of gases, and here there are 10 moles of gases. Okay. 9 moles and 10 moles of gases. It means when there are moles high, pressure is high. So pressure will be high on product side and pressure is low on the reactant side. Now we go to the question, which two changes in the reaction conditions will both move the position of equilibrium to the right? Both move the position of equilibrium to the right. Now we can see in this question, the delta H is negative. It means the process is exothermic in forward direction. Heat is given out. It's exothermic in forward direction and endothermic in backward direction. So when I am increasing the temperature, if I increase temperature, the reaction should always go through endothermic. That is backward direction, not possible. It means increasing temperature is wrong. I have to take the reaction in forward direction, that is towards right hand side. Decreasing temperature will take the reaction towards exothermic side, that is forward. So C and D can be the answer. But since the pressure is high on the product side, so we have to decrease pressure so that the reaction can move towards the product side according to Lee-Chattis principle. So when we decrease pressure, reaction move towards mole side, and we decrease temperature, the reaction move towards endothermic side. So both will favor the forward reaction, hence answer is D. Mercury oxide, mercury 2 oxide, question 21. Mercury 2 oxide decomposes when heated. The equation is shown. 2HCgO form 2Hg plus O2. Why is this a reduction reaction? Now, when we talk about reduction, the removal of oxygen is taking place, we can see, and the removal of oxygen can be considered as reduction. Hence, there is a loss of oxygen, gain of oxygen, no. There are few reactants, then products, no. The products weight less than reactants is all wrong. Answer is where there is a loss of oxygen. Hence, the answer D is correct because oxidation is taking place. Oxygen is removed, hence reduction is taking place. Next is some information about 2-dilute acid is given below. Dilute nitric acid, now it is a strong acid. Dilute propanic acid is a weak acid. Nitric acid is strong and propanic acid is weak. Concentration 0.1, 0.4, pH 1, pH 2.6. Three statements are given about acids. Nitric acid is a lower pH because it dissociates more than propanic acid. Yes, a strong acid dissociates more, it will have more H plus ions, hence a lower pH. Propanic acid is a lower concentration. Now, as per this question, although the acid concentration of propanic acid is 0.4, but it is partially dissociates. It's a weak acid, it partially dissociates, therefore it will have lower concentration of hydrogen ions as compared to nitric acid. Since its pH is also high, therefore this point is also correct. Propanic acid is a higher pH because it is higher concentration. No, concentration cannot control the pH. pH should be, if it is higher concentration of H plus ion, the pH should be low. So this is a wrong option. Answer is 1 and 2 are correct. 1 and 2 are correct. Option is A. Next, question 23. Element is a metal in group 1 of the periodic table and element G is non-metal in group 7. E is a non-metal and G is a non-metal. Which elements? Both of these elements form an oxide. Which statement is correct about the oxide? Since it is group 1, alkali metal, it will form basic oxides. Now it is halogens, it will form acidic oxides. Oxide E, both form acidic, both form basic, wrong. Oxides of E is acidic. Oxide of E is not acidic, is basic, again wrong. Oxide of G is acidic and B is E is basic. Yes, correct. Answer is D. Lead 2 sulfate is an insoluble salt. Which method is suitable for obtaining pure lead 2 sulfate? Mix aqueous lead nitrate and aqueous potassium sulfate. Heat to evaporate all of the water, collect the solid and the water dried. No. If you are heating and evaporating water, it will also contain, one thing is the reaction will not take place, second is it will also contain the salts. After evaporation of water there will be salts, so it will not have pure lead sulfate. Mix aqueous lead nitrate and aqueous potassium sulfate, filter, collect the filtrate. No, again wrong. Mix aqueous lead nitrate and dilute sulfuric acid, filter, then wash and dry the residue. Yes, because the residue will be of lead sulfate and lead sulfate is insoluble, therefore this C can be the answer. C is the answer. We'll titrate aqueous lead hydroxide with dilute sulfuric acid, crystallize, and then no. When you are titrating lead hydroxide with dilute sulfuric acid, hydroxide and dilute sulfuric acid, the crystals formed will not have pure lead sulfate, hence D is also wrong. Answer is C. The elements, question 25th, the elements oxygen and sulfur are in the same groups. Which statement about oxygen and sulfur is not correct? They are non-metals, it's correct. They have giant covalent structure, no. They have simple molecular structure, which is not correct, is B. They have 6 electrons on the outermost shell, correct. They react together, form acid oxide, correct. Answer is B. They have a giant covalent structure, no, they don't have a giant covalent structure. They have simple molecular structure. 26, tensinine. TS is bottom of the group 7 of the periodic table. What are the predicted properties of tensinine? As we go down, the state changes from gases to solid in case of halogens. It means it should be a solid, and the color changes to from light to dark or black color. The density increases and density is increasing. So we can say black solid, more dense than iodine, more active, no. Colorless gas, no. Gas, no. So it will be a solid, more denser than iodine. Answer is A. 27th, an example of sacrificial protection is the fitting of zinc block to the outside of a ship hull. This statement explains why zinc is used to protect the iron in the steel from rusting. Now, since zinc is more reactive, it will lose electrons. Sacrificial protection is there. It will lose electron as compared to iron. Hence, protects the iron from getting rusting. So, zinc is more reactive Zinc is more reactive than iron, so it loses electrons more easily than iron. It loses electrons more easily than iron. This could be the correct answer. Zinc is less reactive, no. Zinc is more reactive than iron, so gains, no. Zinc is less reactive, no. Answer is A. Zinc is more reactive than iron, so it loses electrons more easily. Question 26. Question 28. Which statement about alloys is correct? Alloys are harder than pure metal because they contain strong intermolecular forces. No, they are harder than pure metal. This is correct, but this is because of they will the different size of atoms of alloys, different size of metal in the alloys, they will do not allow slip and slide movement easily. Slip and slide will not take place easily, hence they are harder. It's not because of strong intermolecular forces. So this is partially correct. It means not completely correct. Brass is an alloy of copper and tin. No, brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Is also wrong. The different size atoms in alloy means that the layers cannot easily slide over each other. Yes, it's correct. There are no alloys containing carbon. No, it's wrong. Steel contains carbon. The answer for this question 28 is C. 29 says separate pieces of aluminium foil and copper foil are heated in air. Copper foil reacts to give a black solid, and I know it should be copper oxide, and aluminium foil do not react. Okay, it will not react. Which statement explains these observations? Aluminium has an unreactive layer, but copper does not. Yes, it's correct, because aluminium has an unreactive. It's a protective layer which allows, which do not allow the oxygen to react with aluminium. Hence, the reaction will not take place. Aluminium below copper, no. Copper reacts with moisture in the air, no. Copper reacts with nitrogen, no. The answer is A for question number 29. Answer is A. Next is, which rows gives the equations for the formation of carbon monoxide and for the reduction of iron oxide in blast furnace? Okay. In blast furnace, carbon monoxide is formed by reaction of more of the incoming coke with carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will react with coke to form carbon dioxide. Therefore, answer could be B or could be D. These two are not correct. And along with it, the reduction of iron oxide Fe2O3 will take place there, and Fe2O3 reacts with 3 moles of carbon monoxide to form Fe2O3 will reacts with 3 moles of carbon monoxide to form iron. And since for option D, both the parts are correct, and the answer is D. CO2 will react with coke to form carbon monoxide, and Fe2O3 reacts with carbon monoxide to form iron and CO2. Question 31. The sample of river water contains high concentration of nitrates from fertilizers. Which statement about the river water is correct? Its boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. Now we are saying it contains impurities or nitrates, and impurities affects boiling point. Its boiling point cannot be 100 degrees Celsius. Melting point is below 0 degree. Yes, its impurities, its melting point should decrease. So we are looking for correct options. Second can be correct. It turned anhydrous cobalt chloride from pink to blue. No, from blue to pink. That should be the answer. It turns anhydrous copper sulfate from white to blue. Yes, correct. That means we can say 2 and 4 they are correct. Answer is option D, 2 and 4 correct. Next, question number 32. Which statement about the treatment of domestic supplies of are correct? The water undergoes sedimentation to remove dissolved solids. Undergoes sedimentation to remove dissolved solids. No. Water is filtered to remove insoluble solids. Yes, correct. The water is treated with carbon to improve the taste. Yes, carbon can remove some soluble compounds, components, or impurities that can improve the taste. Water is chlorinated to decrease pH. No. Water is chlorinated to act as antimicrobial or to remove or kill the microbes. The answer should be the two options correct are 2 and 3. Answer is C. 2 and 3 correct. Now question 33 says an experiment to find the percentage of oxygen in 150 centimeter cube of polluted air. We have damp wool, measuring cylinder, 150 centimeter cube of polluted air, and water. The operator is left for 1 week, and after this time, the volume of gas in the measuring cylinder is 122. Earlier it was 150. Now the decrease in volume is 150 minus 122. That comes out to be 28 centimeter cube. That is the decrease in volume of this. Now what is the percentage of oxygen to the nearest whole number of the polluted air? Now the decreased volume is 28. It means the oxygen is 28 centimeter cube. Out of the 28 centimeter cube oxygen in 150 centimeter cube of water, what is the percentage of oxygen? 28 upon 150 into 100. 28 upon 150 into 100, and that comes out to be about 18 point something, 18 point, I think 89%, which is approximately 19%. Answer is A. Nitrogen monoxide and carbon monoxide are both removed from exhaust gases by catalytic converter. This statement describes how nitrogen monoxide and carbon monoxides are removed by a catalytic converter. Now, nitrogen monoxide is converted to nitrogen and carbon monoxide is converted to carbon dioxide. In the case number 1, oxygen is removed, that is reduction is taking place. In case number 2, oxidation is taking place. Okay. Now, nitrogen monoxide and carbon monoxide are both reduced. No. Nitrogen monoxide and carbon monoxide both are oxidized. No. Nitrogen monoxide is oxidized and carbon monoxide is reduced. No. Carbon monoxide is reduced and nitrogen monoxide is reduced and carbon monoxide is oxidized. This is the correct answer. Propane 1-ol is oxidized by acidified potassium magnate in a similar way like ethanol. Which compound is produced by oxidation of propane 1-ol? So whenever we oxidize alcohols, they form carboxylic acid having same number of carbon atom. It's a 2 carbon alcohol, 2 carbon carboxylic acid, 3 carbon alcohol, 3 carbon carboxylic acids are formed. So when it is propane 1-ol, it should produce propanoic acid, and propanoic acid is CH3CH2, CH3CH2COH. Propane 1-ol should produce this acid, CH3CH2CH2OH. This is propane 1-ol. What is happening during this reaction? This CH2OH group is converting into COH group, rest all same. The answer should be D, propanoic acid. Question 36. The structural formula of methyl propene is CH3CH. It is methyl propene CH3CH, CH3CH3. This is 2-methyl propane. Okay. The equation represents the reaction of methyl propane with chlorine, and when I am reacting this methyl propane with chlorine, substitution is taking place, hydrogen is removed and chlorine is attached. How many structural isomers of this molecular formula? C4H9Cl are possible. Now, C4H9Cl, when we talk about this, the chlorine can get attached to the first carbon or can get attached to this carbon. What I mean to say is, if it is attached to the first carbon, the first isomer will be this CH2Cl, CH, CH3, CH3. That is 1-chloro 2-methyl propane. And it can also get attached to this carbon, second carbon, CH3, C, instead of hydrogen, chlorine comes here, CH3 and then CH3. 2-chloro 2-methyl propane. So these two could be the isomers. 1-chloro 2-methyl propane and 2-chloro 2-methyl propane. The answer could be 2. Answer B. Which statement describes a disadvantage of manufacturing ethanol by fermentation? The process uses renewable source of energy. No. The process produces more impure ethanol. It's correct. The process requires high temperature. No. The process slow. Yes, correct. The answer is A, and that is 2 and 4. 2 and 4 are correct. We are looking for correct options. Answer is 2 and 4. Answer is 2 and 4. That is D. D is the answer. Nylon is made in a polymerization reaction. Which rows describe the polymerization? Now, since nylon requires two different monomers with different monomers having different functional groups, hence it will undergo condensation, polymerization, and water is given out. The answer is condensation of water, C. Which ion forms a green precipitate with aqueous sodium hydroxide that dissolves in in excess of aqueous sodium hydroxide? Green PPT that dissolves. Green PPT that dissolves, as we had done in paper 2, that is paper 6 also, chromium. You know, chromium ions, they form a green PPT and on excess they dissolve. The answer is B. And the last question, 40. A mixture of soluble substances can be separated by paper chromatography. Each substance can be identified using RF value, the formula for RF value. So when we want to calculate RF value, we will calculate distance traveled by the substance upon the solvent front. Solvent upon substance, no. Distance traveled by substance upon solvent, yes. Answer is B. Rest two are correct. The rest two are wrong. Distance traveled minus solvent, distance traveled into solvent, wrong. Distance traveled by substance upon distance traveled by the solvent front, that is RF value. That's all about this paper. I hope it will be helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching.